Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Bystraya Voda. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. 1337Cammy, Elite Cammy, playing as the US forces in the blue. And his opponent in the red is going to be Nike, Justdoit, playing as the Austere or Wehrmacht faction. Now we see that Justdoit has just done it, and right off the bat gotten his Doctrine, that is of course the Mechanized Assault Doctrine, as you can see the Assault Grenadiers right on the field. He does of course go for tier 1, like a sensible austere faction would do, and is getting himself a Grenadier squad as well, so he is not going to be relying on the 0 call-in, because, well, those days are long gone. That is only when the faction, or, well, Doctrine came out. You don't see these guys too often, and I can almost guarantee that Justdoit is only going to produce this single squad. If it dies, he's not going to replace it, and he's not going to get himself a second squad throughout the game. It's just that original one. And it's nice. I mean, it does give you that nice little combo of the long range and Grants and the close range on the assault Grants, and you know, it's okay. It's okay, but they don't really have that much staying power for the late game. They kind of drop off. So anyways, Cammy, for his part, has gone for rifles, and more rifles like you would expect. Assault Grenadiers popping into the church in the center. And if you recall Bystraya Voda, well, you know, the 2 victory points up north, 1 down south, fuel point, lone fuel point down in the far south. And we see that Cammy is actually aggressively going for the fuel point. He sent both of his rifle squads to capture it down south, making sure that if anything occurred, any opposition came their way, they had, well, the upper hand with 2 squads, of course. But, well, we can see that Justdoit is actually just focusing on the north and is allowing the southern part to, well, be controlled by Cammy and the US forces, which, you know, not necessarily bad, but that is the thing with this map and the strange, I suppose, design of it. There is only 1 fuel point in the south. There's nothing else. There's some munitions in the center, and there's some munitions up in the north, and that's it. The others are strategic points. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to control the fuel, you're focusing more on the south, but you only have 1 victory point. And if you control the north, you have easy access to both victory points, and you can get, you know, the game that way. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's nice. It's also nice to see, you know, a little bit of asymmetry, I suppose, but yeah. So, what's going on? We got up in the far north, munitions point, rear echelon squad capturing the munitions, while the assault grenadiers are gonna assault their ass, and there they go. Oh, sorry, voice, wow. Sorry about that. And yeah, assault grenadiers quickly win the engagement, as they naturally should. Down goes one of the rear echelon members, and the squad is forced to retreat. They did manage to decap the point, so the assault grenadiers will have to delay the engagement a little while there, but they're going to be fine. Pios getting some pot shots going on the rear echelon squad. MG42 in the church for Justdoit gets itself a kill, but the rear echelon squad, you know, still 2 members strong, makes it out of there, no real issue. 3 rifle squads going very deep into enemy lines. They are actually going essentially for a cutoff. We see this rifle squad going for the strategic point, trying to cut off the entire northern resources for Mr. Justdoit. And we have 2 rifle squads below it, ready to support. Grenadier squad is moving to intercept the rifle squad, but it does not manage to stop the decap, so the points have been, or well, the resources have been cut off, and we have the flanking rifle squad's getting a nice angle there on the Gren. Can they pick up the kill on the lone member? It looks like he's barely going to make it out of there alive. Close to the base, and he'll get reinforced. A narrow miss, or yeah, it barely survived, is what I'm trying to say. MG42 popping out of the church and setting up in a rear-facing angle, catching all the rifles there. All rifles are now suppressed, and the Grens are capturing the strategic point down south to connect the points. The rifles, one of the squads is going to pop into the house, so it will be able to prolong the engagement. The other ones are crawling around. This one up in the north is in heavy cover, but it looks like it's still getting shot at by the MG42. Yeah, it does, and it gets pinned down. Assault Grenadiers close the distance and force the retreat of that rifle squad. The second squad is a little bit further down the line, but it is still in range of the MG42. The MG42, however, seems to be focusing on the guys inside the house. The Garand squad down south getting engaged by the lieutenant. Forced to retreat down to 1 man. Rifle squad down to one man. Can it make it out of there? I believe it will, although the Pyos do have a decent shot of killing them. The lieutenant forcing the MG42 away. The Pyos are taking a couple shots there at the rifle, but the rifle makes it out of there. Rifle squad inside the house is taking quite a beating as Grens and Assault Grens are close up. The Assault Grens are right outside the windows, popping shots at whoever decides to pop their head in there. The rifles pop out of the house down to one man. I don't think they're going to make it out of there. No, there's no way, and down goes the rifle squad. So Elite Cammy losing the first squad in the game there. 50 cal on the field for Cammy. An interesting choice. I mean, not bad at all. 50 cal is an amazing MG. But you don't see it too often. Usually, if you see Lieutenant, you see most of the times the utility car coming behind it, right? Rather than an MG. But, you know, well, we'll see how it pays off. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. Lieutenant and the 50 cal engaging the troops inside the church. The Assault Grenadiers down to one man, may actually die. Oh, down goes the Assault Grenadier squad. Cammy managing to return the favor for his lost rifle squad. But the MG42 has now gotten an angle on the 50 cal machine gun. 50 cal machine gun is now suppressed. It does not have an angle on the MG42. It'll eventually get pinned down and lose complete effectiveness. And 50 cal is getting assaulted by the Grens. Did hit retreat. Very low in health, but it looks like it may... Oh, he picks up the weapon and barely makes it out of there. Rifles engaging against the church. The MG42 moving up to support. Gonna have a nice angle there against that rifle. And no, it's actually just gonna sit there. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that I suppose that works too. It's unfortunate, but yeah, if it had set up there, it would have changed the tide of the battle there a little bit more quickly. We do have teller mines all over the place for Justdoit. The rear echelon squad does not have the hazard removal kit. Or package, but well, it's there. Something flew in that direction and hit, I suppose, a grenade? What was it? I'm going to assume it was a grenade from this squad. That squad is not doing anything. Yeah, grenade, there you go, you can see the recharge. So, grenade got tossed into the church. We do have 3 Grens left on the field. Pio squad seems to be laying down a tier 2. But we also see that a flak, or well, anti-air half-track, not flak half-track, is now on the field for Cammy. It's going to be very strong. There's not a lot on the field that Justdoit can actually use to combat. Obviously he has Faust, but Faust, well, they're really only going to stop it. Anti-air half-track, spotting its first target. Shots start to fly. Gren squad gets suppressed, and we do have a nice flanking blob here going through the river. Lieutenant and rifles, even the 50 cal machine gun is pushing forward. We do have the MG42 inside the house, but with the anti-air half-track behind it, it can actually flush it out pretty easily. Doesn't even need help from the half-track. A grenade goes off from one of the rifle squads and collapses the church completely. Down goes the MG42 as Justdoit builds himself a... Oh, that is unfortunate. I'll try and catch it in a better angle so we see the actual impact. But the anti-air half-track goes down for Cammy as it hits the teller mine that we had just spotted over there. And he retorts with the nice mine. Because it was actually a nice mine. Very nice. It worked. Okay, that's a lot of talking there for the U.S. forces. But yeah, the mine managing to do exactly what it is intended to do, and down goes the anti-air half-track. Mortar getting built for Justdoit. Didn't even notice, yeah. I mean, I suppose it's fine. I mean, he does know that there is a 50 cal on the field, so he could potentially use it to flush it out of whatever cover it sets itself in, but I don't think it's the best of choices. The pack is essentially useless right now. I mean, it's actually back at base, so yeah, Justdoit knows that he doesn't have any use for it just now. The teller mine, you know, did its job. But yeah, I mean, most of the forces for Cammy are mobile. I mean, he has a lieutenant and 2 rifles. So aside from the 50 cal, the mortar is actually going to have a tough time hitting. Oh, never mind. Cammy actually giving him a gift. He's going to build himself a fighting position, probably even going to start upgrading with a 50 cal machine gun. But we now have the mortar on the field, which will quickly deal with that emplacement. So a little bit of psychic intuition there from Justdoit. He knew he needed it. The 50 cal machine gun does go down to Grens. Rifle squad rushing there to recover it. Manages to recover it. The rifle is down to 1 man. It needs to get reinforced, but we do have a ambulance. Oh, nasty hit there. Ambulance on the field for, actually it wasn't that nasty, it's just hitting the emplacement. Anyways, the ambulance is on the field for Cammy. He does push it out onto the field, so he'll be able to reinforce his troops on the fly. And could also just pop the heals, although it looks like he is on cooldown. And yeah. Yeah, that fighting position is not going to last very long. Cammy essentially wasted the resources on it. It's not too expensive, so it's not that big a deal, but yeah, I mean, there you go. Mortar goes down, as expected, and there you go. Well, not the mortar. The fighting position goes down to the mortar, and I believe it was actually the pack. It moved up and took a shot. Yeah, that's a kill on a building. Yeah, so the pack moved up, took a shot, so yeah. Fighting, that is the problem with fighting positions. I mean, they're not very strong, and usually you do want to set them up in a bit of a protected angle, not right there in the center of everything, even though it does have the better angle for the machine gun. Oh, the Pile Squad. Pile Squad's just taking so many shots. Down to one, barely makes it out. And there's no engagements down south. Justdoit is essentially letting Cammy just have all the resources he wants in the south and the fuel. It's not exactly ideal. He needs to at least send one of his squads down south and start recovering some territory. Grand Squad in the north, again forced to retreat. They do take some shots to the 50 cal. And Rifles moving up to the north with the Lieutenant for support. And Grand Squad over here with an LMG trying to stop them, but I mean, it is just a Grand Squad. Stug 3 now on the field for Mr. Justdoit. That is the Stuggy, of course. That is a great unit in this situation, and well, pretty much all situations. It is highly controversial unit, I suppose. But it's not getting too many shots here that it can. Oh, ooh. Mortar actually ending up doing most of the work here. Grand Squad down to one man. A nasty grenade goes off on the mortar. The mortar goes down. The Rifles could potentially take it out, although they have taken quite a bit of damage. Lieutenant is at 4 men, so it could steal the mortar, but it does not look like Cammy is very inclined to do so. Stuggy is moving itself around and gonna be getting some shots on the infantry. The infantry is repositioning itself. This Rifle Squad could throw an anti-tank rifle grenade. I'm assuming that's what it wants to do because it's just going to its death. And it does not manage to even get the shot. You don't really want to do that. You want to make sure that, you know, your squad stays alive. I mean, if he had an AT gun already set up in position, maybe. I mean, sure, I guess the captain also works. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I guess that's why he did it. He had the captain already on position. If he had gotten the anti-tank rifle grenade to go off, he would have gotten the damage on the engine, snared it, and the captain could have finished it off, but it didn't work out. Grens, and more Grens pushing forward, trying to recover some territory as Cammy relentlessly continues to push into the north. Only 13 minutes in, and he pretty much controls most of the map. We do have the 50 cal machine gun going down once again as an MG42 has been replaced for Justdoit. Grens are going to push forward. They're going to easily recover that 50 cal machine gun. We do have an AT gun set up right in front of them, but it is an AT gun and they are not tanks, so they're going to be just fine. AT gun backs off. The ambulance also backing off as well. It is a little bit too far forward, and Cammy could do with getting himself a major. I mean, utilizing the forward reinforcing would be great, but it does not look like he's inclined to do so right now. He does have the Airbonre company now. Calls in a paratrooper squad that nearly crashes onto the roof there, but looks like it made it out fine. And I can only... Oh, nasty grenades. Jeez. So yeah. Cammy doing a lot of work there with the grenades. He's managing to get a lot of kills. Doing them very effectively. Grand Squad sacrificing itself to try to recover the 50 cal. No, it's going to retreat as it notices that it does not have enough men to stay alive as a squad. And the 50 cal returns into the hands of Cammy. The paratrooper squad is getting upgraded with the LMGs because why wouldn't you? The LMGs are too good and the Thompson submachine guns cannot compare. We've seen players every once in a while actually use a Thompson submachine guns, but yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, like I said, you can't compare. It's the LMG is just too good, too powerful. Also gives them the should show it right here, defensive stance or something like that it's called. Suppressing fire, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's very straightforward, essentially.
A capture point is under attack.
MG42, actually the designated unit for Justdoit to capture the southern point. We finally see him sending some of his squads to Grenz down to the south to recover some territory. He has been hammering non-stop, essentially a wall of U.S. forces here. And because of the forward retreat reinforcing, ability, it's not going to be very easy. Rifle grenade, anti-tank rifle grenade going off on the Stuggy. The Stuggy getting caught in a very bad angle. AT gun takes a shot. Down goes the Stuggy. And Justdoit may have just put the nail on his coffin. We are only 15 minutes in, so it's going to be a while. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of bad in the sense that it's not good. Not that he's bad, but yeah. I mean, losing that Stuggy at this point, yeah. I don't know how he's going to be able to stop the U.S. infantry now. Does call in a light artillery barrage right on top of everything. The 50 cal and the paratroopers not noticing. The barrage goes off, but manages to miss pretty much everything. One of the paratroopers, I think, did get hit, but that's about it. The 50 cal machine gun managing to move out of the way. We do have Grenz on the flank, managing to get some nice shots there on the paratroopers. The paratroopers down to 2 men. Need the GTFO. Grenade does go off on the MG42. MG42 suffering a lot of damage, down to 2 men, forced to pack up and leave, although it does not retreat, it just repositions itself. Grenz down to 2 men. We see rifles pushing forward. Well, Lieutenant pushing forward. Lieutenant also has the ability for grenades, so Justdoit does have to be a little bit more on point on his retreats and repositionings because of the grenades. Cammy has been doing a lot of damage and punishing quite a bit with all that. Lieutenant managing to eliminate the MG42, stealing the MG42 for his side, and backing off to reinforce. Lieutenant is veteran C3, so it has all the buffs and the ability to run very quickly. And essentially a great cap unit. He can be utilized solo now, essentially, to go down south and capture territory very quickly. If, Cammy was so inclined. For example, the fuel point down south has been lost, so he could send a lieutenant down there, Things like that. It does give him that versatility. But once again, with the ambulance on the field, he's going to be healing up and reinforcing all his troops on the fly. AT gun, MGs all over the place. So yeah, I mean, the north is going to be very difficult to take for Justdoit. And again, he's running his forces into a wall like a sledgehammer, trying to break it down. Sometimes it works with overwhelming forces, but it does not seem to be panning out right now for Justdoit. Again, he lost his Stuggy, which was a very, very critical point there in his army. So maybe he should potentially focus on just going down south and forcing Cammy to come to him. Maybe get engagements in a better angle where they don't just simply backpedal a little bit and get reinforced. Grenz popping into the house getting grenaded, the Grenz forced to retreat. A little bit of a flanking Grenz squad over here, light artillery barrage. No, mortar actually. Throwing a barrage there on the MG and such, but yeah, I mean, MG stays alive, it does retreat, it'll have to come back onto the field, but it's fine. Again, Cammy will be content to control the north as it does control 2 of the victory points, so as far as it relates to him, that will allow him to essentially win the game in the long term. Lieutenant and rifles pushing forward. Grenz forced to retreat. Pio's trying to hold the line. I mean, they are delaying and keeping them in place for the mortar, so the mortar could potentially score some nice kills there. The lieutenant is down to 2 men. Gets out of combat, is now able to sprint forward, and behind the lines we have a captain going to capture some territory and cut off the southern resources. Grenz, 2 at a time. Engaging. Paratroopers may be able to get in range and throw a nice grenade on top of all these clumped units. The captain may actually go down. There's 1 member left, and with LMGs focused on it, it may actually go down. Oh, nasty grenade does go off. Does not get too many. Actually, only 1 kill. That is rather disappointing. The paratroopers gonna take some pot shots with their LMGs as the Grenz retreat, managing to score another kill on the entity, but not too much damage. Rocket strafe is available once now in the game, so Cammy is in great shape when the Tiger comes, and I don't say, if, but when, because with the Mechanized assault doctrine that you're gonna get a Tiger eventually. Stuggy and Tiger combo, very, very strong. Rifle grenade going off on the paratroopers. The paratroopers could retort with their own grenade, but with their LMGs, they're just manhandling the Grens. Paratroopers getting mortared. The Grens down to one man, and the paratroopers win. But again, we do have 2 mortars on the field for Justdoit, so that is a lot of indirect firepower. Grant's backing off, getting themselves inside that shack. That is not ideal, although, well, they do have an LMG which is able to shoot. But, well, unfortunately, the game does utilize just positions, and even though the guys over there could turn themselves around and fire from inside the house through that wall, well, you know, they're not going to be able to do so. Grenade does go off into the house. The shack collapses, but the Grens were long gone. Pyos coming up to support, mortars mortaring, and getting some nice hits there on the rifles. Lieutenant pushing forward, forces the retreat of the Gren, and it now puts itself, or the Lieutenant puts himself, wow, sorry. Let me take a little sip here. Sorry about that. Anyways, puts itself in range to harass the mortars. One mortar is forced to retreat. The other one has gotten veterancy too, so it's actually done quite a bit. Only 5 kills, but that's a lot of damage that it's spread out, and it increases accuracy and rate of fire at level 2, so, you know, that's good. Jackson tank destroyer on the field now for Mr. Cammy. Bit of a preemptive Jackson. This Jackson isn't really going to do too much. I would have personally, I mean, obviously hindsight and the ability to watch your enemy is, you know, it influences what you're going to do very effectively. But anyways, I mean, at this stage, since you already have an AT gun, a Sherman probably would have been a more sensible choice. You know, it has the capability of helping you combat these infantry, and it's also decent against tanks. It's not going to get one shot by the Tiger if it comes out, and it has the AT gun to support. And once you do know that the Tiger is coming or is on the field, then you can get yourself a Jackson, because right now, well, yeah, I mean, you can see right there, the Jackson isn't going to do anything. The only thing the Jackson could potentially do is run forward and crush units. Lieutenant scoring a nice kill there on a Gren squad. Grenade to kill most of them and then just finish off the remaining men. Oh, nasty shot there by the pack gun. Ow, the pack actually nailing 2 infantry. That's actually pretty badass. What happened to the pack gun? Did it get... I guess it got cleared out at one point, but they didn't lose it, or he lost it and had to recover it. I'll make a note to see about the pack gun originally, what happened with it. If it's interesting, I'll check it out. So Justdoit was floating a lot of manpower, so he decides to build himself 2 snipers. Suppose it's an interesting choice, but not sure it's going to be great. Oh, grenade going off. Ren's forced to retreat. MGs and the captain with his Thompson submachine gun getting some shots going on the Grens, but the Grens are still alive. And yeah, I mean, Justdoit is going to have 2 snipers, which is, you know, going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, he's been waiting around a lot and not building too much, because I'm pretty sure he's just waiting for the fuel to have the Tiger. But again, he does not have the southern sector connected, and he only has 140 fuel, and you need 230 for the Tiger. So he still has 90 fuel to go, which is going to take quite a while with his 7 fuel income. So yeah, I mean, spend that manpower in something. And yeah, I guess snipers could work. I mean, there's no indirect fire for Cammy, so the snipers don't have to worry about the mortar. They actually have 2 mortars to support them, in fact. Major is obviously on the field, since we've already seen the Jackson, and forward retreat spot has been set up for Mr. Cammy. Yeah, I mean, he's in a pretty comfortable spot. Gren squad up in the north gets itself eliminated as it, well, try to sneak a cap, but it's not really going to do too much. And out in the front, we have the Pyos going for the strategic point, trying to recover territory from the south. We do finally have a mortar carriage, the howitzer mortar carriage on the field for Cammy. That one is a lot better. It's going to be able to combat the mortars, return fire, and it's also decently good against infantry. It was amazing once upon a time, but it has been rebalanced. But yeah. Full retreat here for Mr. Cammy, but it's a very short retreat as he has his troops in the center of the map. I mean, he essentially has 1 victory point to his back, so that victory point is pretty difficult to lose. Snipers, for some reason, taking some shots at the motor carriage. Motor carriage returning some fire. It does have to worry there about the pack guns. Sniper managing to avoid one of the shots. Second shot misses, and the motor carriage backs off. You don't really want to push it like that by itself. You want to make sure that your infantry is in the front, and then you have it, you know, in the back. And it obviously has its barrage abilities, which you can just, you know, call in from a distance. Rifles and Lieutenant pushing strong, supported by the stolen MG42. Snipers are getting some nice kills. They actually execute the Lieutenant. A bar does get dropped by the Lieutenant squad, and the Rifles managing to pick it up. A nice grenade goes off on the... Ooh. Good reaction there by Justdoit. Grenade goes off by the Rifles, and they force the retreat. So the Snipers managing to, you know, earn their keep a little bit here, and they executed the Lieutenant. I do not believe the Lieutenant will be coming back onto the game, even though... You know, you could get it, but, you know, most of the time you just want it for the ability to actually tech, right, rather than its abilities. The only ones I would maybe consider rebuilding is the Captain and the Major. Oh, unfortunate. It did have to run the gauntlet through everything, and including a mortar carriage, and well, yeah. Anyways, I was saying that the Captain and the Major, simply because, well, the Captain comes equipped with 2 bazookas, so it's a decently strong anti-vehicle, you know, unit. So, you know, you probably still rely more on the AT guns that you can build from its tech. So, you know, you probably wouldn't end up building it, but you know. It has, you know, some potential value of rebuilding it. And the Major, because of the retreat point, I mean, if you are very keen on having that and you lose your Major, you probably want to build it again and get it. But anyways. So again, an engagement up in the north as Justdoit continues to try and hammer down the wall here of Cammy. Doing it every time with a much smaller hammer and having... you know, expected results. Grand Squad gonna get eliminated here as it's getting shot by LMGs. Oh, it made it out. Ooh, very lucky there. Snipers are on the field. 7 kills and 5 kills. Decent amount of kills so far. They did manage to eliminate the Lieutenant, and they can pop some kills. The paratroopers are, you know, pretty strong targets, I suppose. Second motor carriage on the field for Cammy. He wants to fight the mortars one-on-one with the carriage. And yeah, I mean, they have the capability of doing so. We do have 2 pack-ons on the field for Justdoit. Motor carriage needs to be careful. It's actually in range of one of the pack-ons. Pack-on takes a shot, gets a hit. This motor carriage is not backing off, so it's going to get killed. Pack-on will be able to hit it once again, and down goes the motor carriage. Motor carriage cannot survive a second shot, so Cammy... Well, yeah, mistake there. I mean, obviously. Like I said, you need to push a little bit forward with some infantry in front of it, just in case, so you can spot and cover the unit. For situations like that, I mean, a AT gun by itself is not going to do too much. It actually ended up still trying to attack the motor carriage, runs itself into an MG, and there's a pack gun right there for Cammy if he wants to. He does have a Jackson, though, so, I mean... He doesn't need the AT gun. He could just simply move the AT gun up and, move the Jackson up or the carriage up and eliminate the weapon. Second pack gun for Justdoit, moving itself once again by itself into very inopportune angles. Paratrooper squad is pushing forward, manages to decap the point. Will the snipers eliminate them? No, the snipers do not manage to finish off the paratrooper squad. Motor carriage getting some shots at a distance. The Grand Squad did recover one of the pack guns. Snipers are getting shot there by the howitzer and the MG. The MG is down to 1 man. Probably gets decrewed. Yeah, it does get decrewed, but the motor carriage... Ooh, okay. Yeah, does not get the kills, but the snipers are forced away. Captain rushing forward as it now has Veterancy 3 in its inspiration. The Major has gotten Veterancy 1 by proximity. Remember, the Major does get Veterancy through other units, as well as itself, obviously. If it gets some kills, it will get Veterancy, but You just need to have it around, and one of the cool things about the Major is that at Veteran C3 it actually locks down territory. So you don't have to be right on top of the point. You can have, you know... Yeah, I mean, you can have your Major in some other place, and that territory will not fall, even if they get there. Which would be great, for example, for Justdoit to lock down this territory on this side. You could even have it, like, all the way over here, and it would still lock it down. So anyways... Paratroopers engaging Grens down south. We now have the Tiger on the field. It is moving through the ice, however. It needs to get the hell out of there. Oh, that is so sad for Justdoit. Finally manages to get the Tiger onto the game, and it instantly sinks into the frozen river. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna happen. You don't want to take your heavy tank or whatever vehicles through the river. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, that if losing to Stuggy wasn't the nail in the coffin, that is definitely the nail in the coffin. Justdoit knows that. He throws in the towel. He's probably not going to do that again. and Cammy gets the win. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.